They're the largest cruise line in the world, with a fleet of ships bordering almost on an armada, and they're known for putting the fun into cruising. Well, today on Planet Cruise Weekly, we're going to be talking about just who are Carnival Cruises. Well, hello and welcome to episode 48 of Planet Cruise Weekly with myself, Keith, and of course, Glenn.
You all right?
Glenn, I'm very well, mate. It's good to have you back, of course. It was Jade last week.
It was, yeah, a bit of glam, and now gone back to the old...
Bit of sham.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm back anyway. But, yeah, you okay?
I'm really well, mate. It's good to have you here. Fresh, I know, from the Planet Cruise show up in Peterborough that you were filming last night.
Yes, I was there last night. So
that was good.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Quite a few nice deals on there.
Yeah, did you watch it?
No, of course not, mate. I mean, yes, absolutely. Of course I watched it. And of course, from deals, of course, with Planet Cruise Weekly now, it's more about the information. And funnily enough, today, we're doing a new series, in a sense, of episodes where we focus the magnifying glass on a particular cruise line, looking at their history, their style, and their passenger experience in more detail.
Now, we need to start and clarify there's a difference between Carnival Cruise Line and Carnival Corporation. The corporation owns 9 cruise ship brands and a total of 105 cruise ships. 105? I know, including Princess Cruises, Holland America, Seabourn, AIDA, Cunard, P&O, and one of my cruises I used to work for, P&O Australia.
So today we are asking that question, who are Carnival Cruises? And I suppose we've got to start with the history. Where did it all begin? Well, the launch of Carnival Cruises is pretty much a classic tale of the American dream. It was started by the late Ted Arison, and the company began operation in 1972 with a single second-hand ship, an ex-ocean liner, funnily enough, and just enough fuel to make it from the one-way trip from Miami to San Juan.
There you go. She was called the Mardi Gras, and as with all other cruise ships at that time, was actually a converted ocean liner. Cruising out of Miami, she actually ran aground on her maiden
on a sandbar,
yeah, on her maiden cruise. And for the first few years, the company's history, she was literally living hand to mouth, with the casino slot machines being emptied in port to pay for the food and the fuel for the next cruise.
Can you believe that? Considering where they are now, just imagine that scenario.
105 ships.
You're emptying
having a whip around,
machines, getting a whip around to pay the crew and to pay for the food and all sorts. It's crazy. Now, it wasn't actually until 10 years later, in 1982, that they launched their first, in fact, the cruise industry's first purpose-built cruise ship. And it was with the launch of what was called the Tropical that Carnival ushered in this kind of multi-million-dollar industry of cruise ship building that we're still in the middle of today. And in fact, with the launch of the latest ship, Carnival Vista, in May of 2016, it just keeps on going, because Carnival Vista was 5 times the size of their original ship, the Mardi Gras.
I've been on that ship.
Been on Carnival Vista.
That's what I cruised on last year for my holiday.
Now, in the 1990s, they continued to be a market leader, earning kudos for enhancing the cuisine, which was never really a high point in the early days of cruising, and also investing in top-notch children's programs.
Then in 1996, they introduced the first passenger vessel to exceed 100,000 tonnes. Now it's the norm with the Carnival Destiny.
Now today, as we film this currently, Carnival have a fleet of 25 ships, with the 26th, the New Horizon, planned for 2018. Now, the onboard ambience with Carnival is pretty famous for many, many different reasons. And while Carnival still encourages a very relaxed and fun atmosphere with the occasional hairy chest competition, which Glenn's won several times.
And my missus.
And lots of happy folks in hot tubs at all hours. There's also families using water slides and couples dining in the specialty restaurants. In fact, Carnival truly attracts all ages, with couples and families making up the majority of the guests. And it does definitely have, though, a much younger audience than other cruise lines, and we should say that because I think this is a positive. In fact, 30% of its passengers are under 35, 40% are between 35 and 55, and 30% are over 55. Those are vastly different with other lines.
Yeah, and we did find it when we went on our cruise, it is a much, much younger clientele on there, which is good, and that suits that particular line. This is a very much American-style cruising, so if you like the idea of American-style cruising, then Carnival Cruises could be the one that you're looking for.
Okay, let's talk now about the fleet. Currently, there's a total of 25 ships spread across 8 different classes. Now, the oldest tonnage is the fancy class ships, which were built in the 1990s, and the line's newest and largest ship, Carnival Vista, which is now the flagship for the line's new Vista class, sailed on its maiden voyage in May of 2016. A second Vista class ship named Horizon is on order and down for delivery in March of 2018.
Looking forward to seeing that one. Since 2007, Carnival has been pumping a lot of money into the fleet upgrades, and over the past few years, it's committed $350 million to its 8 fantasy class vessels, adding new deck spaces, water slides, and kid facilities as part of the Evolution of Fun initiative.
Then there's the Funship 2.0 initiative, which is a $500 million programme launched back in 2011, and it's covered much of the rest of the fleet. Numerous ships have gained new themed bars, dining venues, including the wonderful Guy's Burger Joint. There's comedy clubs, loads of other additions as well. And the programme also included one of the most dramatic single ship refurbishments in contemporary cruising, something we talked about before, because in 2013 Carnival Destiny underwent an $155 million transformation, culminating in fact in a name change. So nowadays you'll know it as Carnival Sunshine, but it was Carnival Destiny. And it was 49 days in dry dock. It's like a brand new ship.
It is. Now Carnival is increasingly experimenting with dining venues on there, and of course that is one of the big things that people want to know about is the dining on board. Yes, the main offerings are based in the traditional 2 dining seating restaurants where passengers can either eat at 6 or 8:15. Or again, you also have the My Time or Your Time dining, which allows passengers to eat in the main dining room anytime between 5:45 and 9:30 at night time. And this is really good for families and people that are on the move.
Now Carnival has also focused on expanding its casual dining options. They've got an Asian themed buffet station on board most of their ships, New York style delis, 24-hour pizza, which is music to my ears, a pre-dinner sushi bar, pasta and salad bars, and the excellent Mongolian wok. All of those are now pretty much staples on board thanks to the massive regeneration and rejuvenation of the ships. And there's also some excellent low-fat, low-calorie, low-salt spa Carnival cuisine available, where I'll be spending most of my time. What are you doing that? It's really tasty.
Yeah, of course it is, yeah. See it at the burger bar. Most ships have an upscale for fee alternative restaurant servings. The Steakhouse and also Carnival Magic and Breeze also feature a for fee Italian restaurant serving handmade pastas, which are absolutely stunning. The new Vista class also has introduced seafood options and sushi options as well. So let's be honest, no one's ever going to starve on a cruise ship.
Certainly not. You know, we can't really talk about Carnival dining without mentioning probably the best poolside eatery in the industry, and I think we all agree, Guy's Burger Joint. Burger lovers, you will adore this. It's incredible. It's the brainchild of celebrity chef Guy Fieri. You can build your own or choose from 5 pre-designed burgers. My particular favourite is the Chillus Maximus, where you get super melty cheese, an onion ring, donkey sauce and chilli.
See, that's much better than that low-scale calorie control rubbish you were talking about.
It is, but I've never found out what's actually in the donkey sauce.
Oh, there you go.
Okay, so we've covered food, which is very, very important, and then after food in our list of priorities, accommodation, and maybe we got that wrong.
Yeah, well, it depends on people's priorities on there, but fleet-wide Carnival ships offer some truly spacious and well laid out cabins, which all feature generous bathrooms. Nowhere is this more obvious than on their inside cabins. While other lines average about 140 square feet of the cabin to those booking on the lowest category of inside, Carnival starts with a whopping 185 square feet, and that's what we had, one of those, and it was perfectly fine for the 3 of us. And just like this sweet living shipmates, passengers get bathrobes, flat screen TVs, a private safe, 24-hour room service, and very, very comfy beds.
Now Carnival also keep it simple with 4 main categories of cabin. From the not so humble, as we've just learnt, inside through to the suite. However, there are lots of variations within that offer lots of extra choice and convenience. Now there's some excellent family friendly staterooms that feature an extra bathroom. Yes, you did hear me right, an extra bathroom, so no more fights to see who gets in next. And even better is the family harbour cabins. And these are located near the Family Harbour Lounge, which is an exclusive spot featuring breakfast in the morning, snacks throughout the day, concierge service, and activities like Hasbro board games, family movies, video games, and more. Plus, if you do book one of those, your kids get to eat free in most of the premium restaurants on board. Impressive.
Now, another great option are the HAVANA staterooms with balconies that feature a gorgeous hammock chair and exclusive access to a private pool or the Cloud9 cabins that are close to the spa and offer lots of effective LMS goodies and priority spa reservations, free fitness classes, and unlimited access to the thermal suites. And these are really fantastic. When they got launched last year, most of the staff here all went out and booked one of those for their summer holidays. So they're that good.
Now, there's also connected cabins where families or groups can have a common door for private access between their cabins, and also some excellent accessible cabins for guests who have special requirements. And now it's time to talk about entertainment. In fact, Carnival are known as the fun ships, aren't they, Glenn?
They are.
Certainly, you found the Carnival Vista fun, didn't you?
Oh, it's brilliant. It's great fun for all the ages, yeah.
And that's why you'll pretty much find with the entertainment that there's lots and lots of options. You've got flamboyant song and dance reviews in these massive theatres. You've got large glitzy casinos if you'd like to have a flutter, live bands, hilarious late night stand-up comedy shows, and these are offered fleet-wide. And in fact, even the pool decks pretty much rock during the day. They kind of pump out this loud Caribbean-style music, and of course those super tasty burgers that you love so much.
And a nice way to spend the afternoon. Now, you won't find much in the way of classes and seminars like some of the other ships, but there are plenty of audience participation games and contests, and no matter what your age, you'll always find something to do. Of real note are the dedicated punchline comedy clubs, the well-produced interactive game shows, giant movies under the stars, and excellent water parks which will keep the kids entertained all day. Now, speaking of kids, there are a number of children's clubs on each cruise, catering for kids between the ages of 2 and 17, from teenage hangouts to late night programmes to the immersive Dr. Seuss experience.
Now, all of Carnival's ships offer spa and fitness facilities where you can try yoga, or Pilates, or one of the new fitness crazes, or many of the rejuvenating health and beauty treatments at the Cloud9 Spa Resort. They've also got multiple pool areas, with most of the ships featuring at least one pool under a retractable roof, so it can be used all year round, which is really, really helpful. Plus, each ship is home to an exclusive adults-only area called the Serenity Retreat, where you can relax in a whirlpool, lounge in the sun, and experience some truly attentive waiter service from the Serenity Bar. Sounds brilliant.
Now, Carnival's jewel in the crown is the Carnival Live Cruises, where during the cruise a famous musician or comedian will board the ship and put on an exclusive show. Now, past celebrities have included Gladys Knight, Chris Tucker, Jay Leno, and even Lionel Richie.
Now, you may be thinking, whereabouts can I go on a Carnival cruise? What are the itineraries? Well, they are predominantly based out of the US, and their home port is mainly Miami, so you will presently have to fly to pick up a Carnival cruise. They have got a good selection of worldwide itineraries, but they do tend to focus the majority of their cruising in the Caribbean, around Mexico, and in the Bahamas. Other popular spots are Alaska, where they do a few cruises down there, Australia, and more recently, a welcome return to Cuba.
Which is always good. Now, if you don't want a long flight, then you'll have to wait until 2018 when Carnival Horizon is finished and starts operating out of Barcelona, offering traditional Western Mediterranean itineraries as well.
That's going to be very, very exciting. Well, hopefully that's given you a bit of an overview about who Carnival Cruises are. There's going to be more of these cruise line overviews coming up in the next months and years. And if there's a particular cruise line that you want to find out more about, you'd like us to cover, then get in touch, because we love to hear your feedback and comments. It is so, so important to us. In fact, if people do want to get in touch and ask those pictures of you and your Speedos, or just to ask us any questions at all, or tell us what you'd like to see, how do they do it?
They do it a number of different ways. They can contact us at hello@planetcruise.co.uk. Of course, check us out on Twitter, Facebook. Go onto our YouTube channel, make sure you like us and subscribe as well. And of course, the best way is to go onto the actual website, planetcruise.co.uk. That's got all the Carnival cruises over to the Caribbean, and of course all other cruises around the world. If you still don't know what you're looking for, that's when you give us a call.
And if you haven't tuned in yet, then do so on Ideal World on Tuesdays at 8 o'clock, because we've had a weekly cruise show there for about 6 or 7 years now. It's incredible. It's something that I used to host. It's something now that you host, Glenn,
yep.
and with a wonderful guy called Sean. And there's loads of great cruise deals on that weekly. And I know lots of you that watch this also watch that. And in fact, we had a wonderful comment from Jill Green. She said to us on Facebook, "Sofa booked 8 o'clock Tuesday night to see where my next cruise will take me." So Jill, get back in contact with us and tell us what you booked, because we're interested, aren't we?
Yeah, it's always good to know. And as I say, when we do the 6 deals, it's nice to know if that's what people book or they phone in to book something else. But as I said, we feature 6. They're the ones that we've picked for the week. But again, there's plenty of other cruises out there.
And a deal of the week that we do as well on YouTube, so you can always have a look for that. In fact, click the link there and it will take you through to our current deal of the week. Now, the other comment from social media that we wanted to mention was How Load, and Hal said that Sky Cycle thing looked funny. He was referring to the fact that last week we talked about the 20 most adrenaline pumping things you can do on a cruise ship, and one of them was that Sky Cycle that you do on Carnival Vista.
Yeah,
did you do that?
Yeah, of course we did. Yeah,
Was it fun?
Yeah, it was great. Yeah, and as I said, it only takes a few minutes to get around, but it's something a bit different. It's their sort of signature thing they have on that particular ship, and they're all doing that. You know, they all put signature things on the ships now to make that ship different from other ones. But as I said, I really enjoyed the Vista. We took our baby on that as our first cruise, and you know, for all of us, it was a great cruise.
Well, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week and beyond. And yeah, see you soon.
Cheers, guys.